Good morning, friends. It's a nice, chilly fall morning here. Adjust this microphone. And I'm glad to be here today. There's so many different places my mind wants to go this morning when I'm So what I do is I tend to sit with my morning practice just a bit before I start this recording. And I bring into it an intention to sort of absorb what's happening around me and feel into the ways in which my body and my thoughts, the different bodies. We have the physical body, the touch, the sensation. We have the emotional body, the feelings. And we have the thought body, the brain, the thoughts, the way that our mind is conditioned to respond. And part of the practice of yoga, if not the entire practice of yoga, is to link these different places of experience. We are setting out with the intention to be present with our thought body, our emotional body, our physical body, so that our spirit body has a place at the table. And in yoga, the body positioning that we do, they're called asanas. And this is when we're talking about doing a physical yoga, like a hatha yoga, for instance. The way that you hold your body is an asana. An asana translates roughly to seat. This is the seat. And so the practice of yoga is to become the seat, right? We physically, mentally, and emotionally become this place of rest and union so that we can be a space where the subtle bodies can come forward. And we move into creating stillness and silence, not the lack of sound, but silence. I know that's confusing, but we create this silent space, this subtle space where the quieter voices can come forward. And one of the things that I say to myself as a reminder and to others as well is that if we are not ready to hear the body whisper, then we're not prepared for when the body screams. If you can't hear the body when it whispers, you're going to have to hear it scream. So we need to be prepared for that. We need to prepare to hear the bodies, the subtleness of the communications. And so all of this is to say that this is my morning practice that I do before I begin this recording, because I want to be present with not only what is in my world, in my vision, my reality, my family, culture, my uh, whatever it is, but I want to be present in the world that we share because this is about connection. That's what's at the root of making the decision to do these recordings. That's what is at the core of what Journey Home Meditation is. This is not just to support a solitary, isolated practice. This is to understand the complex and intricate ways in which we are all connected, right? Because if I don't understand that there is connection, then I have a tendency to create a reality of isolation, and then I feel alone. Because loneliness is the perception that we are alone. It's not the reality that we are alone, it's the perception of it, which means that you can be lonely in a room full of people, even loved ones, even those who do know you and care about you and feel connected to you. We have this amazing ability to feel disconnected, and we self isolate. And this is coming up today as I read an article, an opinion piece, um, I believe it was the New York Times, addressing loneliness and addiction, specifically talking about Matthew Perry. I think that's his name. Uh, the actor Matthew Perry, who died recently. Um, and of course, the discussions are going to go straight to addiction because Matthew Perry was open about his struggles with addiction. But the amazing thing is how, even in that, the way that we frame the context for that conversation is still to apply blame and judgment. Um, to not be able to accept a person for who they are, but for the ways in which we need to compartmentalize. And loneliness was the topic. The assertion that the addict feels lonely. And this may be very true. But I'm confident in saying that all of the loneliness, and there is a lot of experiences of loneliness that are occurring all around us all the time, within us and without us. It's sometimes the effect of not being able to listen to the subtle messages, because I get into fight or flight. Literally, my ability to connect with other human beings is ingrained and built into my biology. So when I'm perceived as not having those connections, there's a biological response of fear for my survival. So my body is sending these messages. Now, my mind has sometimes learned the opposite, that being close to people is equal to pain and suffering and abandonment and betrayal. So we want to isolate. So now we have this incongruence between our thought body and our physical body and our emotional body. So they can't listen to one another. There's subtle messages that become screams, and the screams all just turn into white noise, and we kind of get used to the noise. And so we don't hear what's being spoken. We don't hear the words, we don't hear the message, because we just hear the noise. And when we hear a noise, we react. We don't respond. We don't enter into the dialogue. We react. And that reaction is either to be in opposition to the noise, or we shut down and we dissociate. And so this morning, with my practice and the actual intention and benefits that I receive from my practice, came directly in response to what I was reading that's in the consciousness right now. And I thought that was really helpful for me, because I've been on many sides of that experience of loneliness. I've been in the addictions. I've been lonely without the addictions. I've experienced the dissociation from the noise, and I've experienced the harsh reaction to it. And I'm just grateful. I have gratitude today to be able to have a way to relate to myself that does not include self-hatred or rejection of the self. I don't reject who I am today. And it makes it a whole lot easier to not reject who you are. And when I do not reject who you are, it makes it a whole lot easier to not reject who I am. And so this practice of radical acceptance, it strengthens itself, just like yoga, just like when I'm on the mat, and just the simple sitting in a position gives me strength in my body. The ability to sit with an emotion gives me emotional strength in my experience. The ability to sit with these thoughts and not allow them to move me away from my center, from feeling balanced, from understanding that I'm loved and cared for, from knowing that I have a place and I belong. No matter what the thoughts say, the ability to sit with them gives me strength. And strength isn't just this notion of kind of machismo or power of dominance. Strength is also the ability for the tree to bend in the wind so it doesn't break. That is strength. Strength is simply how long I can be with what is. And I didn't know Matthew Perry, and I don't know if he was lonely. And I don't know if it was his addictions that inevitably led to his final breath. But I know that the final breath was coming at some point, because Matthew Perry was a human being, and I am a human being. And one day I will take my final breath, just as he took his final breath. And inevitably, whatever the stories swimming around in his mind of who he thought he was, or his emotions of how he felt about who he is, or his physical body and how it was affected by how he lived, inevitably what was underneath Matthew Perry was the same spirit of life that runs through me and runs through all of us. And that's okay. And I want to honor that. And I don't need to figure it out. And it's not a teaching moment. It's just a moment. It's just a moment. Sometimes what was not is, and sometimes what is not any longer. It's okay. So I'm going to spend just a few moments today finding the union in my physical body, my thought body, and my emotional bodies. And I begin to do that by preparing myself for breath. So if you are seated the way I am on the floor on a rug, mat, or pillow with your legs crossed, find yourself a position to sit where you can sit with who you are, comfortably and openly and without stress or strain. If you're in a chair with your feet to the floor or lying on your back, find the place of balance within your body. If you're walking or driving a car, just feel into your physical body and find the place to hold yourself that brings life into your body with ease. Breathe in and release. This next breath, extend the out breath completely. Breathe in slowly. And release. Feel the body. Breathing in through the nose to the bottom of the belly. And release. Relax the shoulders and gently bring the shoulder blades together to roll the chest open and to open the heart. Feel that breath. Gently raise your chin. Follow the breath. can repeat these lines if you'd like as we share in metta meditation. May I be peace. May I be wholeness. May I be joy. May I be love. May you be peace. May you be wholeness. May you be joy. May you be love. May all beings be peace. May all beings be wholeness. May all beings be joy. May all beings be love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just sit for a moment and feel whatever it is that's arising in your body. Hold space within for yourself to be present with whatever it is you're experiencing. Let it move and flow. Breathe it in and let it go. Hariom. Thanks for listening today on Journey Home Meditation's Morning Sit. Please feel free to reach out and communicate. It just takes a moment Send an email to journeyhomemeditation@gmail.com. Let me know where you are. Let me know how your practice is. What are the thoughts that you have, and what are the things that you're learning that you can share with us? I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to share anything that you say is okay to share in our morning meditations. Even just reaching out to say hello. These are the actionable ways that we start to tip the balance of these very heavy things that are weighing us down in our days in this culture. This is how we turn it around, by just reaching out to one another. So even if it's not me that you're messaging, message someone today. Send a love letter to an old friend. Give a phone call. Something to remember that you are a part of all of this. Acknowledging that connection, and listen to the subtle messages. Goodbye for now.